Hello Terraria enthusiasts, my name is James, and today I'm going to be talking about a very serious issue that has been affecting a great deal of Terraria players. For some time it has been brought to my attention that there are some players out there who have fought effortlessly against enemies big and small, from the simple slime to the lizards guarding the dungeon, explored every cave system the world has to offer, and even taken down the giants of Terraria. But when all is done and the Moon Lord is defeated, they look upon their world completely saved against evil, and it looks like a barren wasteland, because in their journey they've completely forgotten to build anything. Well, it's time to fix that issue, as today I'll be giving you 5 great building suggestions for your world that should spark creativity, as a world truly isn't perfect until it's got a bunch of stuff in it. Now, I did take a crack at this in an older patch of Terraria, and I have received a ton of emails of your creations, so this time I'll be giving some fresh ideas that you may not have seen elsewhere. Giant bridges. So admittedly, this idea actually comes from the original Terraria trailer that was shown almost 5 years ago, where one of the beta testers of the game was building a giant bridge for players to walk across. Now, this completely blew me away as it opened up a ton of creative designs in my head. Now, since that update, some Terraria worlds don't actually have giant rifts that need bridges, but with some dynamite and some water, you should be able to make a pretty realistic chasm for you to build your bridge across. Now, don't forget to make the world flat around the bridge, as this will make it easier to pass through when using Hermes boots, and make sure to incorporate buildings on either side of the bridge, as this will give you a reason to actually cross it. One way to do this is by adding a little toll booth and moving in the Goblin Tinkerer to look like a troll under the dungeon. Now, I know he's a goblin, not a troll. Equal rights, man. Graveyard. Now, this one doesn't have to be depressing or morbid, it can actually be really fun. I thought of this idea when trying to think of what to include if I was going to make a little village, and every village, at least in Britain, has some small form of creepy graveyard. Now, the graveyard you make can be a plot of land which you work on at the start of the game, and then throughout your playthrough you add the grave markers for each death. And instead of rewriting the reason why you died, you can come up with funnier versions, like instead of writing you drowned, you could write wasn't able to find an air bubble. Or alternatively, you can make up deaths for each one of the NPCs in the game, and the creativity of this build really comes down to the creativity in your writing. Just be sure to grow some pumpkins in October for extra creepiness. Statues. Now, it's okay to be narcissistic sometimes, and this is definitely a good reason to be. Now, there are tiny little statues in the game that you can place armor onto, but I had something different in mind. How about a big shrine to yourself right in the middle of a little village, so all of your tiny NPCs in their little homes can look up to you and pray? Okay, that sounds a little religious, but come on, you're the one who controls every single block in this game, and they should know it. Be sure to place signs around it with your greatest achievements, like how long you've managed to play Terraria for in one sitting, or how many slime banners you've been, because damn it, who needs them? Now, if building a big statue of yourself doesn't sound like your thing, you could always build one of your favourite NPC or build retro style Statue of Liberties and get some pixel art going. Fishing dock. Now, fishing is something that I didn't spend a lot of time doing in Terraria in the early days, but now I'm completely hooked. So as we all know, the ocean biome in Terraria is a little bare on the surface, and that's why adding a fishing dock is completely useful and aesthetically pleasing. Some good little tips for a fishing dock are to include some crates that you fished up as decoration, and maybe a little fishing shack to go along with it. Be sure of course not to make it too big, as you need that area to fight Duke Fish Run, so try and keep it to a reasonable size. But if filling the ocean area doesn't actually bother you, how about using the other ocean to build a giant boat? Now you can expand on this and add a little fishing port to every biome to make getting quest fish more interesting, but for now, this is a great addition to any world. Watchtowers. I used to play a really amazing Terraria server called Geldart that would divide each biome with a tall tower as a quick way to navigate through them and give players information. But I really like the look of this, and it's why I'm recommending it now. Terraria biomes all flow into each other, and building watchtowers to divide them is a really good way to make the world seem even more real. A great twist on this is to include teleporters in each one so you can easily jump between them, and maybe even include rooms to the watchtower for NPCs that can serve as guards. Another good twist on this idea is to include a elevator with each watchtower as a great way to quickly reach the bottom of each world no matter which station you're at. So that's 5 really great additions to any world that should get the creativity flowing. Be sure to add these to your world to flesh out each biome and make the world feel even more real. Now be sure to click that subscribe button if you're a first time viewer. I have a playlist of over 40 top 5 lists for Terraria and I update it frequently. So to make sure you're the first to see them by staying up to date with all things Chippy Gaming. Now if you've not done binge watching top 5 videos yet, why not click here to be taken to another random list? Who knows where that link could take you? Tempting, isn't it? So that wraps up another top 5 list. As always, thank you all so much for your continuous support, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.